So intermittent motion is a sequence of motions and dwells. So this mechanism is used to convert continuous motion into intermittent motion. That means there will be breakage in the motion. So intermittent motion is not continuous motion, but it tries to cease or stop after definite intervals. So there are many applications in the machineries where you require the intermittent motion. Okay. So the Geneva drive, or you can say Maltese cross, is a gear mechanism which translates continuous rotation movement into intermittent rotary motion. So continuous motion of this particular crank is converted into intermittent motion of the this particular wheel. So this wheel is called as a Geneva wheel. So it looks like a cross. So that is why it is called as a Maltese cross. So the rotating wheel or the drive is usually equipped with a pin. So there is a pin here. So that reaches into the slot of the another wheel. Okay. So and it advances one step at a time. So once it engages, the pin engages with the wheel. So it will advance by one movement. Okay, for one rotation. So again, for another rotation, it will advance the wheel by another quarter. So here there are four or five slots which can be made. So the driver wheel also has an elevated circular blocking disc. So it has an elevated blocking disc that tries to prevent this Geneva wheel from okay. So positioning, it helps in locking this particular pin onto the slot of the Geneva wheel. Okay. So this is the Geneva wheel mechanism is a cam type mechanism. So which is used to provide intermittent rotary motion. Okay. So it is used in both high speed and low speed machineries. So mainly in the conveyors where you require intermittent motion. So it consists of a crank. Okay, so crank, this is a driving crank which rotates continuously at uniform angular velocity. Okay, so it is a driving crank. So there is a pin. Okay, there is a pin here. This pin engages with the slots of the Geneva wheel. So this is the Geneva wheel. It engages with the slots of the Geneva wheel. So there may be 3 or more slots in the Geneva wheel. Okay, so more than 3, you can have 4 slots, you can have 5 slots. Next, so here you can see in Geneva wheel. Okay, so for each revolution of the crank, the Geneva wheel rotates fractional part of the crank revolution. So that for each revolution of the crank, this will revolute only one fraction, or the amount which depends upon the number of slots in the Geneva wheel. The center line of the crank and the slot are mutually perpendicular. So if you see here, so the center line of this horizontal and this will be mutually perpendicular, because see here it is exactly 45 degree. Okay, the center line of the crank and the slot mutually perpendicular at engagement and disengagement. So this keeps varying. So initially at engagement it will be at perpendicular. The circular segment attached to the crank, okay, so this particular segment effectively locks the Geneva wheel against the rotation when the pin is not engaged. So whenever the pin engages and if it disengages, so whenever it is not in engaged position, so the segmented wheel helps in locking the rotation of the Geneva wheel. So it will help in the correct engagement of the pin for the next slot. So the intermittent motion is the required in the tools where spindle, turret, or if you are using a workable table, if it is to be indexed, so if it is to be positioned exactly, okay, so there we will be using this particular Geneva wheel mechanism. So this is a use. Okay. So ratchet and pawl mechanism is a mechanical device that allows continuous linear or rotary motion in only one direction. Okay, so this is a wheel. Ratchet is a wheel which is having a number of gears here, number of gear teeth. So it will try to revolve in only one particular direction. So ratchets are widely used in the machinery and tools. So it is commonly referred as a ratchet socket wrench. So in the wrench, they will be using this particular ratchet and pawl mechanism. So where it is used in the clocks. It is used in the clutch for as a free wheel. It is used in the counting devices. It is used in the typewriters. It is used in the lifting jack where you are lifting the load. So it should not return back in the opposite direction. So again, you are using in the automatic feeding mechanism. Okay. So we will look into the mechanism now. So ratchet and pawl mechanism is used to produce intermittent circular motion. Okay, so this is a used for producing intermittent circular motion from an oscillating or reciprocating element which is called as arm. Okay, so the arm here reciprocates. So and the ratchet wheel will rotate intermittently. So the ratchet or the link number 3 you can see in the figure. So how many links are there here? You can see here 4 links are there. Okay, so first one is the arm, second one is the pawl, third link is the ratchet wheel, and fourth link is the another pawl. Okay, so 4 links are there here. So the ratchet allows motion in only one intermittent direction. Okay, by means of a arm which reciprocates. Okay, so here driving pawl. So there are 2 pawls here. One is the driving pawl. So when you reciprocate the arm, this pawl engages with this particular slot of the ratchet wheel and it will try to rotate. Okay, so for every reciprocation, there will be movement of this particular wheel. Okay, so when the arm rotates the counterclockwise direction. Okay, so this can rotate in the clockwise and anti-clockwise. So when it rotates in the counterclockwise direction, the driving pawl will push the ratchet wheel. The driving pawl will push the pawl number 1, or the driving pawl will push the ratchet wheel and it rotates counterclockwise with intermittent motion. So there is another pawl number 2. It is used for preventing the ratchet wheel from rotating backwards. Okay, so it is called as a holding pawl. Okay, so there are 2 pawls here. So one is the driving pawl, which is connected to the arm, and another pawl is the holding pawl, which is used as a locking. Okay, which is used for locking and preventing the ratchet wheel from rotating backward. Okay, so the purpose of pawl number 2 is to prevent ratchet wheel from rotating backward when the arm is rotated clockwise. So here we are rotating counterclockwise and clockwise. Both directions we are reciprocating the arm. So for which the wheel has to rotate only in the counterclockwise direction. So clockwise direction is prevented by the locking pawl. So toggle mechanism is mainly used in the stone crushing mechanism. It is used for stone crushing. Okay, so it is a combination of solid links, metallic bars, and hinge joints. So that are used for connecting. That is used for arrangement in such a way that small force, when it is applied, you can create a much larger force at another point. At some point you apply some force and that force can be magnified into a larger force. So mainly used in the rock crushing machines. So here you can see the animation of a rock crushing machine. So here they are using the toggle mechanism. So there is a wheel or a crank which rotates, and in between there are intermediate links. Through this intermediate links, So the force can be magnified and it is used for crushing the rock. So magnified force can be applied using this particular mechanism, toggle mechanism. So here you can see the link number 4 and 5 are of equal length and is connected by pivot point at C. So pivot joint at C. So link 4 and link 5, they are connected at point C. They are of equal length. The link number 4, okay, is free to oscillate. Link number 4 is free to oscillate at pivot point E. Okay, so this will try to oscillate. And link number 5 is connected to a sliding block. So this is a sliding block. So which will crush the rock. So there is a reaction force here. So that you can call it as R. Okay. Link number 3. So this is the link number 3 joins link number 4 and link number 5 at point C, and the rotation of the link number 2 or the crank about the fixed point A causes the block to slide. So it causes the block to slide back and forth. So there is an angle theta here. So which link number 4 and 5 make with the horizontal. Okay. The force F in the link number 3. Okay. So the force which is generated, vertical force generated acting at the point C, and the reacting force R, okay, depends on the angle theta. So the force F which is applied through point C and the reaction force by rock R on the block D depends upon the angle theta. So if you make smaller the angle theta, greater is the reaction force, greater is R. Okay. So as theta approaches 0, so when this becomes horizontal, that means link number 4 and 5, when they become horizontal, or you can say collinear, there is a rapid increase in reaction to force ratio. So that is R by F ratio, there will be a rapid increase. So we can calculate using this relation. So R by F is equal to 0.5 divided by tan theta, or F is equal to 2R tan theta. F is equal to force which is applied is equal to 2 into R into tan theta. So this relation can be used when you make this smaller angle, when theta is equal to 0. So what will be the reaction force? Okay, so it will be maximum force. If you look into the equation, okay, so if you look into this particular equation, so can you see here, R by F is equal to 0.5 divided by tan theta. F is equal to 2R tan theta, or the reaction force can be written as F by 2 into tan theta. As theta approaches 0, okay, so when theta approaches 0, what will happen to tan theta? Tan 0. Okay, so this will be 0. So for this, the R value approaches infinity. So as theta approaches 0, okay, the reaction force R approaches infinity. This means the R rises rapidly and the larger force is developed on this sliding block with a small driving force. So how much ever may be the driving force, when this theta is very small, so this becomes, reaction force becomes infinite. So where you can use this? So this mechanism can be used in the stone crushing machines. It can be used as a toggle. It can be used for clamping devices, sheet metal punching, forming machines, pneumatic rivets. Okay, so riveting devices, friction clutches. Okay, and also wherever you require embossing or the pressing action. So in the presses we can use as a switches, we can use in the circuit breaking devices. So the toggle mechanism has enormous usage. Is a copying type of mechanism. Pantograph is a copying type of mechanism. So where we can use this pantograph. Pantograph is a mechanical linkage. So it is connected in a manner so that parallelograms allow the movement of the pen. So whatever the image you trace, so identical image it will trace in the second pen. So you can see you can connect one pen here. So identical image it will trace in the another end. So but it can be used for a enlarged scale. So if you require enlarged drawing or if you want to reduce the drawing, so it is used as a copying mechanism. If a line draw is traced by first point is identical, it can be enlarged or it can be miniaturized by fixing the pen at different ends. So different types of pantographs are used. It can be mainly used in the duplication, okay, such as drawing, sculpture, minting, engraving, milling. So there we can use this pantograph. So this is having links. So pantograph is having links here, AB, BC, CD, and AD, which are arranged in such a way that they form a parallelogram ABCD. Okay, so this looks like a parallelogram ABCD. To this parallelogram, we will fix one end and the other end P and D will trace the same path. Okay, so link AB is parallel to CD. So the link AB is parallel to CD and BC is parallel to AD. So here you can see here AB measurement is same as CD, or you can say AB is equal to CD and AD is equal to BC. So it forms a parallelogram. So parallelogram is required here. Link AB is extended to O. So this link AB is extended to O and link BC is extended to point P, such that O and P, it should form a straight line. So O and P should be in the same straight line. Okay, through point D. So it should pass through point D. O, D and P, it should be same straight line. Okay, so make any point O or P as the fixed pivot point. Okay, so you can make this as fixed point or we can make this as fixed point, one and the same. Okay, so here we have made O as the fixed point. Okay, so where it is used? So it is used to replicate any geometrical shapes, figures, maps, drawings, to reduce or to enlarge. Okay, it is used for guiding the cutting tools, and it is used as an indicator rig to draw displacement of a cross side of a reciprocating engine. So there we require displacement to be measured. So you can connect to the cross side of a IC engine to indicate the PV diagram and all. We can use this particular mechanism. So now you can see for all the relative position of the link, the triangles OAD and OBP are similar. Okay, what is triangle OAD? This triangle OAD, okay, and OBP, larger triangle, they are both similar. Okay, so triangle OAD and triangle OBP, they are always similar for any position. Okay, so here you must know that points O, D and P, it will always lie in the same straight line. So O, D and point P will lie in the same straight line. It is required to prove that point P, it is required to prove that the point P will describe a same path as that described by the point D. So whatever the D trace, okay, traces, so that same path P also should trace. So how to prove this? So using a particular derivation. Okay, so there is a proof here. So we have to assume ABCD is a initial position, okay, of the parallelogram. ABCD initial position and ODP is a straight line. ODP is a straight line. The triangle OAD and triangle OBP, they are similar. Okay, so they are similar. What do you mean by similar triangles? So using the similar triangle concept, if we take the ratio of the sides, then it should be equal, ratio of all the sides. So that means ratio of OA divided by OB is same as OD divided by OP is same as AD divided by BP. Okay, so using the similar triangle concepts, we write equation number 1. So a new configuration of the mechanism can be obtained as shown in the dotted line. Okay, so if we move this point D to D dash, P to P dash, you get a new configuration. So that is represented as a dotted line. So here we see that, okay, dotted position of the mechanism, the point D is moved to D dash, P is moved to P dash. So since they are all rigid links which are connected, okay, so AD dash will be same as AD, BC dash will be same as BC, and AB dash, okay, will be same as AB distance only. So because they are all rigid links, made out of rigid links, so that means it should be. So for the new configuration, A dash, B dash, C dash, D dash is again a parallelogram. So this is again a parallelogram. And here also we consider the similar triangle. Okay. So ODP, O dash, D dash, P dash is again a straight line. You can see ODP is a straight line. O dash, D dash, P dash is also O D dash, P dash is a straight line. So now triangle O A dash D dash and consider triangle O B dash and P dash. So they are also similar. So we can take the ratio. Okay. So we can take the ratio, and here we can see that OD dash is parallel to, okay, so DD dash is parallel to PP dash, DD dash is parallel to PP dash. Okay, so we can take similar triangle concept. So here OA dash, okay, divided by OB dash is same as OD dash divided by OP dash is same as A dash D dash divided by B dash P dash. So all these are same ratio. So that we can write it as equation number 2. So whatever the equation we had taken before, OA by OB is equal to OD by OP is equal to AD by BP. So that we are writing by dash, OA dash divided by OB dash is same as OD dash by OP dash is same as AD dash by BP dash. So if you compare both the equations, we can say OA by OB is same as OA dash by OB dash. OD by OP is same as OD dash by OP dash. So what is the meaning of this? Since the ratios are constant, OD by OP is same as OD dash by OP dash. That means the ratio is constant. The motion of the point P is parallel to the motion of D. So D motion is same as P motion, but it will be enlarged scale. Here, the point P will reduce the motion of the D to an enlarged scale. Okay. Alternatively, D will reproduce the motion of point P to a reduced scale. Okay. So the point P will trace the same path as the D, but to an enlarged scale, and point D will trace the motion same as point P to a reduced scale.